Salutations, Legion of Doom. Welcome back to the Storm, where social awkward outcasts, crazy riddles, and all around nerds convene to talk and debate all things pop culture. With me, as always, is my co-host, the Nerdy Occultist, aka the Authenticator, Dalton L. Mortimer.
Good evening, everyone. I am very tired.
And I'm your host, last time I want to be the Brainstorm Pop Culture, and I am not.
Interesting, ironic reversal for everything.
Yeah. Um. As I was eating there. So yeah, want to apologize for the whole not being able to make it, last week. Um, I was just very exhausted from work. Uh, I don't know if I can really call it work, but because I volunteer to do it. I mean, I do get paid, but anyway, yeah, and I just was not feeling great by the time it was actually to start the show,
And so I blackmailed him into taking care of himself for 5 minutes.
it would have been fine, more or less. So
But as I say, I blackmailed you into taking care of yourself for 5 minutes. So there.
um, but yeah, so Velocity, it's just kind of a trailer week, just because one, Dalton is kind of tired as well, and I don't want to push him. And to be fair, it's just kind of like we're not. There's kind of like a. It's
There's
not
been
been.
a surplus of trailers. It's been an endless volley of trailers recently. So trailers there shall be.
Yeah. Um. Okay, give me a second to get.
Articles I want to cover eventually, but once the barrage of trailers ceases for 5 minutes.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh dear, we lost Brainstormer already. Well, the universe might be telling us something, ladies and gents. Maybe, just maybe. Not 5 minutes in, and we are faced with the technical difficulties jutsu. Oh, yeah, uh, it's just been that kind of week, ladies and gents.
Okay, hello.
Okay, he's back. Huzzah.
Yeah, everything just froze on my end, so I had to like leave and
Yep,
uh,
technical
yeah,
difficulties already.
yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
really.
Yeah, Sam Dawn was very stoked to cover. The official teaser.
Please be aware, and you may not be aware because of Brainstormer's deadpan, but massive air quotes there.
Teaser trailer for Practical Magic 2. So I want to preface this. I do remember watching that, but I watched that like very, very, very long time ago. So the memory of it is not fresh in my mind, but I have a general awareness of this movie.
I've seen it a couple times. Sandra Bullock is always wonderful because Sandra Bullock is always wonderful. However, um, having seen it probably close to a dozen times over the years, because it's always played during the ABC or what used to be the ABC Family is now Freeform 13 nights of or 31 nights of Halloween block there. I don't like the Practical Magic movie. Now, I will put an asterisk here because I have not read the Practical Magic book. I suspect the book is better because that is often the case. But I do not really particularly care for the Practical Magic movie as far as I have seen it. It it's one of those fantasy adjacent things that treats magic almost like a blood thing and the mutant power, and it's just there are so many better ways they could have done their magic system and they didn't, and that annoys me. And again, I don't know if it's specific to the book or not, or if it's something they did for the movie because it was the 90s and so on. But like, I wouldn't call Practical Magic as bad as Charmed for its representation of witchcraft, but it's probably just like one or one and a half rungs above Charmed in terms of its loyalty to anything resembling real magic. That being said, I realize that I am me, and so we kind of have to give our opinions on this because, apart from Practical Magic being a somewhat subpar fantasy movie, it is a chick flick, and chick flicks are also quite often gay flicks. So, as a gay magical practitioner, it was inevitable that I would have to give my opinion on Practical Magic 2 in the same way as it's inevitable that I have to give my opinion on Harry Potter shit, which, for those that don't know me very well, is not a very high opinion generally. Moving on.
Yep. Banana. Right.
Margaritas. Or margarita.
I feel like I'm missing context for that.
Okay, so the short version is the Owens family of witches in the course of the movie has a curse on it, which means that any man who falls in love with an Owens woman will die prematurely and leave the mother miserable, and then the mother will die prematurely as well. And so when the two main characters' mother died, they went to live with their aunts. Their kooky witchy aunts, which are probably the best characters in the movie. Um, and one of the things they did was every full moon or so, they would create a witch's brew, which was essentially a souped up magical margarita. And in the movie, it's set to the tune of Lime in the Coconut, so margarita.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard of the Owens family. The ones from Massachusetts?
So I got a question. Did they break the spell at the end of the first movie?
They said they did. It seemed like it was in the narration that they did. It was part of the happy ending of the thing. Although I'm wondering if the curse will resurface somehow. See, the thing that baffles me is that this curse that affects every single Owens woman. Like, we're talking about a family of very powerful witches, and they have had the legacy of magic since, like, 1600s or so. So you're telling me that in the course of how many generations would there be between the 1600s and the 1990s?
Hmm.
Like at least 300 years, give or take. Um, you're telling me that in 300 years of there being these powerful witches and an entire like family of them, no one has found a way to undo their ancestors' curse. Now, mind you, Maria Owens, the original Owens witch, is supposed to be the founder of their line and the source of all their powers and blah 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 blah. But I find it odd that no one in the 300-year history of the family has found a way around the curse until apparently the end of the first movie, but they might be retconning that. Anyway, margaritas.
The ones their neighbors whisper are witches.
You're the Owen sisters.
Yeah, everyone we love dies.
Oh, right.
A really horrible death.
I-
But I mean, it's not great for the Tinder
No.
bio.
Okay, so again, I must ask, are we operating as though the curse was never lifted, or are we operating as though this is just them trying to scare off this guy because he's a creep? I would like it to be the second one because that would A, make more sense, and B, not retcon the happy ending of the first movie. But then again, it's not like this movie has ever made much sense, so there's that. Also, small print, the whole their neighbors whisper their witches thing. The ants, at the very least, in the first movie, were quite open about both their practice of witchcraft and their family's legacy of witchcraft. Hell, they call in the like PTA moms
Be right back.
as supporting witches in the exorcism spell that they cast at the end of the first movie. So like everyone in their like neighborhood at least should know and believe that they are witches now. The longer this trailer goes on, the longer it just feels like they're not even addressing the end of the first movie, which is somewhat baffling. Unless this is supposed to be like a midquel. Anyway, margarita.
I've waited such a long time for this.
She has.
You put the line in your coconut, you take a boat up. Put the line in the coconut, you take a boat up. Draw a line in the coconut.
That's Lee
Okay.
Pace.
I believe you are correct. Yes. Okay, so for context, the main plot of the first movie focused mostly on Sally's desire for her ideal man, and then quickly devolved into she found her ideal man and now she wants to save him from the family curse. It does appear that we are now focusing on Julie, the redhead, getting her happy ending, which is odd considering that it was her toxic ex and accidentally killing him that led to most of the antagonism of the first movie. long story short, Julie had a boyfriend who tried to rape her, and in the course of trying to rape her, Sally and Julie together knocked him out and killed him. And then when they realized that that made them kind of guilty of murder, they tried to use a spell to resurrect him. It didn't work, but it did basically turn the douche into an angry poltergeist that was ruining their lives, hence the need for the exorcism at the end of the first movie. So I'm guessing this is now Julie's turn to get a happy ending-ish, but then again, everyone got the happy ending at the end of the first movie, and this movie again seems to be operating as though the first movie didn't exist. This isn't even me defending Practical Magic for like of it, as I've made it very clear that I don't particularly like this franchise, but like this is just basic continuity shit. You can't spend like a third of your movie doing a thing and then act in your sequel as though the thing has not been done. Moving on. Marguerite.
Drink a boat up, put the lime in the coconut, then you feel better. Put the lime in the coconut and drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut, then you feel better. Put the lime in the coconut, drink a boat up. Put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning.
God damn it, that's fucking my head. Fuck.
What, the Lime and Coconut song?
Fuck. God damn it. Trying to fucking forget it. God.
If you drank, I would ironically suggest margaritas for forgetfulness, but you don't drink, and justifiably so. I'm not particularly surprised that that song wound up being in the trailer. It's one of the most quirky TM in air quotes fucking running gags in the first movie, so I'm sure. I mean, white suburbanite women are eating good this year, what with Devil Wears Prada 2 and now Practical Magic 2. I'm actually slightly more interested in Devil Wears Prada 2 than I am in Practical Magic 2. I'll probably see this, though, to be fair, just to see what they do with it, especially because, again, I have questions about how in the fuck this works, if indeed they are basically just going to ignore the end of the last movie. Anyway, margaritas.
Everything is gonna be okay.
Everything's gonna be okay. Just like it was when we had to bury a corpse under a rose bush. That kind of fine or different?
Okay,
Different or same?
I'm
Let you drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut and you feel better.
I'm a touch tempted to say that you probably shouldn't be lampshading the entire main conflict of the first movie. But then again, I don't know what they're doing, so maybe them lampshading it will come back to bite them in the ass. What I need to do is I need to read the book, because Practical Magic is based on a book, and it might even be a series of books, and I should read the book so that I can get a better feel for the actual source material. I mean, like I said, I'll probably watch this just to meaningfully give an opinion on it, and also because Sandra Bullock is always awesome. So, and I do I do like her as Sally in Practical Magic. That her and the ants are pretty much the only reasons why I like or the only things about Practical Magic that I like. So I probably will see it for those reasons. Anyway, moving on to the next one.
Yeah, it's still loading. Give me a second.
Oh no, it's in my head. Fuck.
What's up?
The song, it's in my head now too. Fuck. But
Yeah. Now you share my
One-
pain, motherfucker.
one other thing I want to say before we move on from Practical Magic 2. I was kind of, albeit naively, hoping that given how much witchcraft has gone mainstream in the decades since Practical Magic came out, I was hoping that they would do a little bit more research and weave in a little bit of, better magic, but doesn't look like they're doing that. Shame. Anyway, on to the next thing.
Yep. That's one of Dawn's favorite stuff. Good Omens season 3, the final season, I believe. All right. Oh, there we go. So want to go banana?
Yeah, banana.
Right, okay. We've known each other a long time. I could always rely on you. You could always rely on me. We're a team. We don't need heaven. We don't need hell. Just be an us. Oh, really? Nothing lasts forever. Is it over?
Yeah, they're really leaning into that, huh?
Leaning into Crowley and the Xerophil.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, none.
Yeah, banana.
All right.
Ready to start? Next step in the great plan. We call it the second tummy.
I was thinking we might try something a little more upbeat. Oh, look out. Here comes universal happiness.
And tell them it's the end times.
Or not.
Something's wrong.
There's some weirdos up there, I'm sure, like that.
Mm.
I'm sorry, now I'm just picturing, like, I don't know, afterlife bureaucracy, some reason, just really intrigues me.
Have you ever watched the show Dead Like Me?
I've seen clips of it, and I've heard people talk about it. It looks good.
It was one of my favorite shows growing up. It was always the first show to rerun after Saturday morning cartoons, and I always liked it. Might go some ways to explain my more morbid, cynical tendencies, but, que sera, sera.
But yeah, I got nothing else. Banana?
Banana.
Okay.
Wrong.
What are you doing there? You know you are not allowed up here.
Things are just disappearing.
Where's Jesus?
Earth. They've lost him.
It's all gone bonkers! Now it's our time!
Can I help you?
So, in the first season, which was based on the book, they lose the Antichrist. And now they've lost the Riz just in time for his second coming. Maybe we should just stop putting Crowley and Aziraphale in charge of keeping track of things, folks. Maybe that. Maybe they can do something else. Like, literally anything else. Just don't put them in charge of keeping important assets safe or keeping track of where they're located. Oh boy. Banana.
Yeah, okay.
Why don't you ask your friend to help?
Really? I've come to help you. Ready? Do you want an apology from me?
You could have avoided all this. Giles had come with me.
How could we have been happy knowing that we were leaving all these people to goodness knows what awfulness?
So, do you have any idea where the Book of Life might be?
Sorry.
You know, as annoying as it is to my obsessive compulsive tendencies that heaven and hell are this woefully disorganized, heaven and hell being this woefully disorganized would explain some things.
You know what? No, I'm Christian, so I actually have to worry about my soul being condemned. So I'm not going to comment, actually.
By which he means he wants to agree, but he knows he can't because reasons. This is ironically very, this is very Aziraphale and Crowley, our little dynamic we have going here. One quote I really like from the novel, that they did transfer over to the show when they did it in season 1 was, Crowley didn't fall, he just sauntered vaguely downwards. I feel like that describes me quite well, actually.
It's
The-
almost
the-
kind of, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say this kind of reminds me of that. God, it was a few years back. It was supposed to be on. It was on like TBS. It was like the first season at least was like, Heaven as like a corporation. It had Steve Buscemi as God. Danny Radcliffe was in it.
I vaguely remember something to that effect. I just don't remember what it was called.
Miracle Workers.
Maybe? Question mark?
Hold on.
IMDb. The internet giveth and the internet taketh away.
Okay. Okay. Miracle Workers, an anthology comedy series on TBS, created by starring Daniel Radcliffe, Steve Buscemi. Okay. Each season featuring new setting storyline, often involving angels and humans in certain situations, which such as preventing Earth's destruction or navigating the organ trail. Okay.
I mean, the probably more famous example of a similar concept is The Good Place.
I didn't want to bring that up mainly because I have not actually watched that. I tried to watch it. I'll be honest. It's not bad. You know, it's just like
I liked the early seasons. The more they tried to explain how things work, which this is a weird catch-22 because the more they tried to explain how things work, the worse it got. But on the other hand, I commend them for at least trying to take an earnest stab at it because The Good Place is a very imperfect show, but it does at least try to gesture in the direction of some interesting ideas, even if it doesn't always know what to do with them. and I did always find it funny that a anxious professor of ethics is one of the main characters. Anyway, banana.
Um,
Of course I do.
Angel, time to go.
You really can't do this on your own. How fast did you say this goes?
Crowley, this is bigger than you and me. You still don't get it, do you? You can't change anything.
To be fair, Crowley, y'all have changed a bunch of shit a bunch of times by this point in the show. Like at this point, the two of you should be on Team Sarah Connor because you two single-handedly have butterfly affected the universe many orders of magnitude over.
banana.
Banana.
I was trying to do the right thing.
Hang on, Angel!
Oh, May 13th.
So next week. Cool.
Mm.
I do wonder what Crowley and Aziraphale would be like if they were in the Helliverse.
I think they're too good to be in the Helliverse, to be honest.
I don't know. I could see Crowley and Alistair getting tea together or something.
Eh,
I feel
fair.
like I feel like Aziraphale and Emily would be practically like inseparable siblings at that point. And unfortunately, Good Omen's version of Gabriel would fit perfectly with the like mold of people like Adam. I do love the scene in I think season 2 where Gabriel loses memory and becomes human, and then Crowley throws what Gabriel said to Aziraphale as he was about to be executed back in his face. That's very that would just good character writing. Anyway,
Alright.
next.
Give me 1 sec.
Yep.
Okay. Alright, this is your first trailer for Street Fighter. So I guess full context here, we're not really big fighting game players.
No.
I've looked into Street Fighter, like lore and stuff, because usually those games actually have like really deep lore for some reason.
I mean, I mostly know what I know about Street Fighter from the discourse around the Raul Julia movie from the 90s. I miss Raul Julia. Raul Julia is awesome.
I mean, I think David Desmelson is going to do a good job.
Is he playing M. Bison this time?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I kind of wish it's weird. From what I've seen of M. Bison in terms of like the design for him, he is big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, David Desmelson is not.
He's a
Is-
twink. He's an almost like anorexic looking twink.
Anyway, I think when we covered the teaser, and it just had like such a vibe to it, of like it embodied like the zaniness and just overall like camp that is Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Because Street Fighter came out in the '90s, and it's very much of the '90s, really.
Yep.
Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, I'm just saying like.
Yep. It's very edgy, very grungy, very like punkish camp.
I wouldn't say edgy.
Well, grungy at least, because it's a
Well, it's from Japan. Oh, okay. It's as grungy as Japan was in the '90s, I guess. So anyway, yeah. So we'll do the trailer here. Banana.
Yeah, banana.
I got good news, y'all. Gathered here are the world's best fighters. I won't deny it, I'm a street fighter. But only one of which will be crowned the world champion of street fighting! You win! Perfect.
You're not a warrior anymore. You're
I also like how I know we've talked about like comic book accuracy, right?
Mm.
But I have heard people talk about with like this when they mentioned like video game accuracy, and this seems to match like Street Fighter again. Like it's zaniness, it's like kind of campy, very like what's the word I'm thinking of? Out. Zaniness, something like that, I guess.
Over the top.
Thank you so much on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. I'm not like this. Just feels well. For one thing, it feels genuine. It's not mocking it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's playing it all straight, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Just can respect that.
I mean, I find it interesting that once again, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are getting to go head to head again, considering that they're kind of the Pepsi and Coke or Marvel and DC of fighting games. Banana?
Yeah.
not a warrior anymore. You're a sideshow.
What's up, MTV? I'm Ken Masters.
This is your shot at redemption.
To my business as a Who are you gonna show?
I'm on now.
Remember when MTV was still a thing?
Oh yes,
Fuck, we're old.
indeed.
Oh, by the way, guy's playing Ken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Atom Smasher from Black Adam.
Noah Centineo, right?
Yep.
He was cute. And that. Anyway, banana.
No, it's not one of combat.
Maybe it's Ken's turn to be champion.
How did you find me?
I'm paid to find champions. Even if they're lost.
Okay, so it is set in 1993, but like the Street Fighter version of 1993, which is super fucking weird.
Huh. Period piece. Cool.
I mean, it's like the 90s from like this, well, from the 80s. At
Mm.
least that's how it looks. It's like somewhat. Yeah, I'm getting kind of Johnny Mnemonic. Johnny New. What the fuck is that one with Keanu Reeves?
I think you had it right. I think it is Johnny Mnemonic.
Or is it Neurotic?
I
Hold on.
remember Johnny Tsunami, but that's not it. I don't think I've ever seen this particular Keanu performance.
Oh, yeah, it's Mnemonic. You're right. 1995.
Same year I was fucking born.
Cyberpunk sci-fi film starring Keanu Reeves as a data courier who stores sensitive information in a cybernetic brain implant, which will kill him if not downloaded in time.
That may be the most 90s of 90s premises I've ever heard. That is just streaming 90s in surround sound 4K.
But yeah, it looks very dystopian, very like, it's like almost arcadey in a way, and basically how like most of the world was picked in like a lot of 90s movies,
Yeah.
which was very grungy, very punk. So
Yeah.
Right.
A
Banana.
little bit of cloth, a little bit of leather, everything was happy.
But it
Anyway,
works. It works.
did.
It's very fun looking, actually.
Yep.
All right.
Banana.
Good to see you, old friend.
Still reckless.
Oh, that's Andrew Koji as Ryu. He was Storm Shadow in that Henry Golding Snaz movie. He was in Bullet Train. He's in a lot of stuff. Good actor. Also, I believe a martial artist has done a lot of his own stunt work. There's like action scenes. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that he's playing Ryu then. Anyway.
The question is, which movie is going to be better, the Mortal Kombat movie or the Street Fighter movie?
I'm not really about that. Be fair, I am going to be fully honest. I grew up with Mortal Kombat more so, but movies-wise, I'm somewhat more interested in this just because, how to say it, This just seems more fun. While with Mortal Kombat, which don't get me wrong, I'm aware of the lore and the story of Mortal Kombat before all the major retcons and overcomplicated bullshit they've introduced recently.
Yeah, the alternate timeline stuff. Ooh man, that's to quote the 11th Doctor, time travel. You can't keep it straight in your head.
No, I think it's just how they handle it, to be honest. But my point is with the Mortal Kombat movie, one, obviously because they had the original character of what was it? What was his name?
Oh, I don't remember what
Yeah, the descendant of Scorpion. Even though I thought that could have been an interesting idea, it was a little lackluster. You know,
POV
the,
character.
the second movie looks fine for what I've seen in the trailers, but I don't know. It feels like it's just kind of a reboot, basically. Like they're ignoring the first one almost entirely in some way.
That can be a valid strategy if they improve on it.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. This just looks more fun. Also, I'm gonna be honest. Like stylistically, it looks a little better because I think the Mortal Kombat movies are going from like a dark fantasy look.
Yeah, which
But
given their lore, that makes sense.
No, it does, but I'm gonna be honest. It just doesn't look as good as this.
I think I'm gonna disagree with you. I think Mortal Kombat looks.
No, I mean visually, it doesn't look as good as like the scenes here because this feels a lot more. Well, this feels a lot more tangible in the way it all looks. That's what I meant. Like from a stylistic standpoint is what I mean.
Right, but like I said, that's why I'm going to be interested to see which of these two comes out ahead.
I mean, they got Carl Urban to play Johnny Knoxville, Johnny Cage, which that's gonna be good either way.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Especially because didn't they add Homelander or Omni-Man to the DLC recently?
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah, so it somewhere in the multiverse, Carl Urban is fighting Homelander again. It's a different Carl Urban character this time. Which amuses me. Anyway, Banana.
Yep.
This tournament is not what it seems. We have to be ready.
Everyone keeps going on about your thighs. How do you see what pigtail is?
The fact that they don't look very accurate as well, like they don't just with some minor.
Yeah, it shows somebody gave a shit. Yep.
Also, the fighting looks pretty good too. Like it doesn't feel like basically like modern movie action. Mostly, it feels very like classic. Like they're letting like the people who do these stunt work really figure it out themselves, and not trying to like over direct it in the editing.
Hoping there's some over-the-top wire foo in the larger action scenes. Looks like there probably will be.
Yeah. All right.
Banana.
Sorry. Fuck it. I get.
What's going
Yeah, it looks fun. Looks good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Banana.
Yeah.
That was some abracadabra shit.
Oh yeah, Jason Momoa as Raka.
Ooh. Interesting.
And for those who don't know, and please correct me for those who do know that are more knowledgeable than I am, Raka is a green demon dude that has like electrical powers. All right.
Banana.
I'm positive that a fireball came out of Ryu.
Do it, Ryu! Perfect.
The fact that they're also, I'm sorry, it's October 16th, by the way, anyone's interested. They're using game sound effects in this trailer. And also the stylization of like these slides for like the titles and the dates and stuff. I feel like that's very indicative of how much effort and like respect and love was put into this project.
Is a good sign.
All right, let me get the next one up. And now for the return of a classic thing that we all grew up in the 2000s. A scary movie trailer. It's only about a minute long. So. As I really never thought they'd make like this again, you know?
I never really got a scary movie hype train. I don't know if it's because they were after my time or just because I didn't like seek out parody movies very often unless they were Mel Brooks ones.
I can understand the Mel Brooks one. But they were not after your time because they were happening in the fucking early 2000s when you were still a kid.
Yeah, I mostly missed the hype train on the scary movie franchise.
Or you're a pretentious jackass.
Yeah, that one goes bone deep. I was the sort of kid who related to Squidward before becoming an adult. Because for some of us, it didn't take more than 5 minutes to realize Squidward is the more sympathetic character than SpongeBob, but that's just me.
Well, to be fair, I never got into SpongeBob, so.
Actually, Actually, as I grow older, I find myself relating more and more to Zoidberg from Futurama. Which is weird that I went from one cephalopod to another. Although I suppose Zoidberg is part cephalopod, part crustacean. Anyway, banana, or is there some other food stuff you'd prefer we use for scary movies?
That's right. And to be fair, it's been a while since I've watched the scary movies. But to be fair, most of it's like sex jokes.
So banana would actually work. Although for scary movie purposes, I suggest boo nana. I feel like you're glaring at the screen right now.
Banana.
Boo nana. I wish Dragon Turtle were here so he could witness this.
Be fair, the scary movies always made fun of Michael Jackson. Be fair, that actually started with Scary Movie 3. They started that, but yeah. Although I'm actually kind of surprised. I don't know if this given the whole Michael Jackson movie that's coming out, which I'm more surprised it took this long for a movie to get made.
Because of the controversy towards the end of his life.
I mean, the fake one that was conjured up because he was actually doing something genuinely good.
Yeah. The evidence of the Michael Jackson allegations is laughable and farcical in its incompleteness and actual substantiveness. There's a really great series of debunking videos done by Razorfist over at the Rageaholic channel, if anyone wants to go into the details there. Basically, the accusations came out of a bunch of people trying to ride Michael Jackson's legacy right to the bank. And Michael was apparently a very sweet, very introverted person who tended to freeze people out if he thought they didn't like him enough. And as an introvert, I can say with my whole chest, that is a mood, brother. That is a mood. But yeah, long story short, Wade Robson and Jimmy Safechuck are treacherous little star fucking shit weasels, and their allegations are farcically stupid. Anyway, boo nana.
I'm sorry. It's just like these movies are funny because they really are fucking stupid. Like that's the charm of them.
See, for me, and maybe this is part of the reason why I never bothered to get into these, because I've thought this ever since seeing one of the first trailers for these. For me, the stupid isn't funny; it's just stupid.
Well, to be
And
fair, Young, you really have no sense of humor. Well, no, let me correct myself. You don't have a good sense of humor.
I mean, your mileage may vary. I'm the sort of guy who likes Golden Girls and Frasier. I like my and like Monty Python and shit. I like my humor to have a little bit of dry intellect to it.
So
So
that's fair. I'm just saying, like,
stupid humor. Stupid humor is mostly missed, very rarely hit for me. So that might be like.
and you're a
Also,
pretentious jackass.
Also, it must be said that part of my ability to enjoy things like Scary Movie may have been ruined by Freeberg and Seltzer, who made the majority of the parody movies throughout the 2000s, and they rode that stupid as comedy bit right into the ground, and
That
then
is
kept
fair.
digging.
Are you done?
Yes.
Point made. Fair. But this is a whole different team in general comparative. It's it's been, I will argue that those guys are probably the symptom of like how Hollywood always tends to ride a trend of a very popular thing to the fucking ground before it even really starts to pick up.
Yeah. It's also just, a lack of actual talent, but that's neither here nor there. Boo Nana.
Shut the fuck up.
Never.
I'm definitely going to see this June 5th if anyone's interested. Okay. Oh, god damn it.
Bless you, by the way.
Thank you. Give me one sec. Okay, so now for a legitimate scary movie. The official teaser for Clayface. This would be the third movie of the DCU to come out.
Is it DCEU or is it in the same universe as the Batman?
No, it's DCU.
Well, that's not gonna confuse everyone right the fuck out of nowhere, James.
We've made it all. We are all very aware of how mishandled it's been.
Especially because they've already done Penguin. That's just. Oh, James, why? Anyway.
Well, I mean, I'd still argue also. Matt Reeves' little thing of wanting to keep it separate.
Yeah, no, he's also an idiot for not, using the tools at his disposal for.
I mean, look, okay. I don't want to get into it because we've gotten into it before, and I don't want to retread old water here. But
Matt Reeves should get over himself, and DC should have driven as many fucking
Can I,
driven
Tom?
as many cars full of money up to his house as they could manage to convince him to make Robert Pattinson's Batman the Batman of the DC universe.
Can I fucking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, okay. One thing I'm going to bring up is an odd argument that I've heard said, and I know other people, like even on YouTube, have said this in better ways than I can. But I'm just going to be very short and sweet to the point. The argument that was made was the movie of both Superman and Batman, like the Batman and Superman 2025, right? Tonally, they don't fit together. And hold on. That's the point of those characters, that they are so different.
Diametrically opposed to one another. Yes, that would make perfect sense.
I mean, that's kind of how the Justice League works on just the general basis and premise. Well, I mean, superheroes in general, actually.
Well, yeah, but Superman is the Big Blue Boy Scout. Batman is the Dark Avenger. Wonder Woman is the like mythical quasi like Greco-Roman shit. Flash is more sci-fi. Martian Manhunter is more like esoterically cosmic, and so on.
Well,
and so
I'd also argue that because one of his main identities is a detective, so like a mix of noir there as well. Because Manhunter in the Martian dialect is like the profession. It's actually a profession. It was like basically a space. It was like a Martian cop.
Right. Although I would argue more of a like cyberpunk sci-fi type detective story rather than noir. So neo-noir rather than noir. Because
My point is that adding there's a detective angle there for Martian Manhunter. Okay.
Right. But, yeah, but you.
I'm not. Okay. Can we stop with the pedanticness, please?
No. You know me. Don't be an asshole.
I'm just like I feel like
I literally cannot.
I think we disagree, though, is that there are stories of detectiveness, just the general idea of a detective for Martian Manhunter that a lot of people seem to forget about for whatever reason.
My point was that you have to be very careful playing that angle because Batman already exists in the original 7. That's why I was hyper fixating on the neo-noir cyberpunk / sci-fi noir thing, because that will make it distinct enough from Batman that you can still have the Batman in the same universe as Martian Manhunter, and it's not going to seem like double dipping.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Now that it doesn't make any sense, I get your point, but there are literally about 100 detective characters in DC Comics.
Yes, and for the most part, DC has solved this by only focusing on Batman. As much as it annoys me that they do that, there's a logic.
Can I finish my point, please? Look, what I was going to say is that I do understand that all of them operate on a different operants Mirandai no. Like how they operate is very different compared. They're distinctive detectives between each other.
They're in different subgenres within detective fiction.
Well, also, I think we should point out that DC Comics literally stands for Detective Comics.
Yes, but also that's why, and to go back to my point, that's why you need to hyper focus on what that specific subgenre is and allow it to drift away from detective as a whole. Because
so you're like really tired right now because you just want to have this argument, right?
No,
like
you keep fucking cutting me off, and I keep having to make my point again.
Point being, you need to focus on what makes them different rather than what makes them similar. Otherwise, it's going to end up confusing and frustrating people.
Okay, that was literally the same thing I was saying. So we just
You
had a
were-
whole conversation.
No, you were saying the opposite because you wanted it to go full detective for John, and I kept telling you
No, that's not. No, that's
that
not
you-
at all what I was.
you-
That's not
you-
all. That was not at all what I was trying to say. That is not all what I was trying to say at all.
That's
literally-
that's what came out of your mouth, dude. I'm sorry to tell you that, but that is what came out of your mouth. And then you got pissy at me because I wanted to focus on the specific subgenres rather than making them all detectives primarily.
So you're like really tired, right? That's
No, you are the asshole here. I'm sorry to tell you.
no,
You
I'm
can
not.
literally- You could,
Don, we are-
dude. You can literally go back and watch the tape. I am telling you, you are the asshole in this particular case. This is why I'm grateful that we record these, because I can literally show you the tape.
Okay, but that was never my intention. What I was trying to say. Okay, so we had a clear miscommunication in dialogue here.
Yeah.
My general point, though, was, well, to be fair, there's a lot of it. Honestly, Marsh Manhunter does not get enough credit or anything of that sort, really, ever. I don't get it.
They don't pay attention to him at all, and it is fucking irritating.
Okay, so since you were touching on the genres of like basically, I guess let's just focus on like the Founding Seven, right?
Yeah.
Justice League. So we talked with Superman, Big Blue Boy Scouts. He's a reporter, so still investigative stuff, but
not while Supermaning. That's what he does in his civilian identity for the most part.
yeah, it's. I mean, his stuff's a lot more varied. I'll be honest, like with Superman, like a lot of his stories,
It depends on how deep you want to go into the bizarre, like Silver Age type stuff with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue sci-fi for the most part, but it's a very particular brand of sci-fi, I'd say.
And then you get into characters like Mixie, and then it just gets
So it's
and
Bizarro.
and
So let's just stick with Big Blue. Let's just Big Blue Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Noir Detective for Batman. Yeah. Greek epic, or well, I would say generally epic, because it really depends.
mythological for
Yeah.
Diana.
Mythologically epic, do we want to say, or just mythological?
No, just mythological. I don't like the epic should either be implied or like just let the story itself dictate the scale rather than trying to Christopher Nolan it.
No,
And
I
yes,
get
it's
you.
still-
I get you.
yeah, this is-
Yep. All right, then,
Um,
like you said, Flash, sci-fi, Green Lantern, space opera. That's right.
yeah.
Well, no, we're sticking if we're sticking with like the original lineup of Justice League, which is in Silver Age, so that would mean Hal Jordan. So yeah, space opera, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said with Marsh Manhunter, esoteric.
Gets into the more esoteric side of cosmic.
Yeah.
And then
Aquaman.
Swashbuckling. Swashbuckling pirate like adjacent stuff. Flash like a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea style like adventure story.
Well, given that it's also set with like Atlantis is the setting, more or less. Like a Greek poem?
No,
No.
you're not. That's more Diana's thing.
Well, I'm trying to think because with his kingly stuff and like the kind of inner political stuff that deals with like the,
You don't. Why are you keeping it solely in Atlantis? Aquaman is at its best when it's Atlantis having to come to terms with stuff from the surface world, which again leads you to the like swashbuckling.
Well, no, I'm also trying
adventure pulps. Aquaman should honestly be like if Pirates of Penzance had a baby with Indiana Jones, tone wise.
I mean, I'd also make an argument for the Indiana Jones, like adventure pulps of that nature, right? For like at the very least, Golden Age Hawkman, possibly.
What to do with Hawkman? That is a good question. If we're having Hawkman there. Need to think. As much as I dislike the ancient alien thing as a concept, I think that's the right route to go with for Aquaman. Because that way you can get Thanagar and.
Wait, you mean you said Aquaman?
Did I? Yeah, I meant Aquaman. But yeah, for
so like kind of similar like Stargate or something.
Yeah, something like Stargate or Fifth Element, kind of.
Oh, you hate Fifth Element, so you bringing that up here is actually kind of impressive.
I do, but it works. I despise the ancient alien hypothesis, and I dislike Fifth Element with a fiery passion. But for the character of Hawkman and the lore of Hawkman, there's really no better way to do it tonally or aesthetically than like a Fifth Element style ancient alien thing. Not necessary. Like, I dislike the premise, but these premise have uses, and this is one of those ways in which the premise can simply be useful.
All right, but back to Clayface. So they clearly what was it? Clayface of Tragedy, I believe, was the episode in animated series.
Yes, I'd have to look back at it.
Which was good. I remember people talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm looking up the episode name because I want to be correct in this. No, that was okay. That was the Batman. Sorry. Right. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, my internet's being weird right now. Shut up.
Have more potatoes than Ireland, my friend.
Well, that's not saying much because they have a fucking potato famine.
Had past tense.
I don't see any potatoes coming out of there.
You, sir, have not been paying much attention because, like, half of the world's potato supply comes from Idaho, the other half comes from Ireland.
I'm being an asshole, man. Come on.
I know.
Okay, so it's Feet of Clay. Sorry. I got confused. There's the Clayface of Tragedy in Batman in 2004's The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the one, obviously I was talking about Feet of Clay for Batman the Animated Series, which apparently was the 4th and 5th episode of season 1. It's just, it's actually, if that's like some of the early episodes. That's actually pretty impressive, all things considered.
I mean, it's Batman the Animated Series. There's a reason why the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm era DC animated universe is the gold standard for superhero shows. Period.
Right. And why they
period, frankly.
Why they didn't think of using that as the basis for any fucking thing.
I will not. I will never understand their logic there. Fucking all.
Honestly, I think the one who had it close was George Miller's Justice League Mortal. Like, if you look at the script, which I think you can find online, right? It was very much like an episode or like a arc from Justice League Unlimited. Basically, it came across like that, right?
Yeah, and it's like you will probably never be able to eclipse or outdo the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm era DC animated universe. And if you can't outdo it, then adapt it.
Anyway, so the Clayface movie, I'll be honest, given, like, it itself actually looks like a good movie. It's very much a horror movie, which I kind of respect.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, like, body horror wise, kind of like what they tried to do with Fan Four Stick and failed miserably at doing.
Because it works more well. Okay, to be fair, making it a horror movie, which is like the DCU's first R-rated movie, actually, makes sense because most of Batman's rogues have horror movie style origins. Actually,
they do. I mean, hell, the Joker was literally based on the concept of the one mafia movie, The Man Who Laughs.
Was that a mafia movie or was it like a? I know what you're talking about. Man Who Laughs. Right, that's what it's called.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. To be fair, early, for the record, I had seen that, like clips of it, and yeah, they really based the Joker, like the original version of the Joker, really looks a lot like him.
Yep.
Okay, silent German expressionist film.
It's a strange movie to it's a strange movie to think that one of the most iconic villains in all of comic books is based on, but
well, it
is.
Yeah, so it's known for its dark, melodramatic, and horror-like tone. Follows Gwynplaine's tragic story as a sideshow attraction who falls in love with a blind girl and is later drawn into aristocratic intrigue.
It's very much in the same kind of pseudo-noir category as Nightmare Alley.
Well, gothic romance, horror, but melodrama.
Yeah, and then obviously, characters like Victor Freeze, a la the like Heart of Ice origin, are very much kind of born from the same kind of tragedy as like the Invisible Man or Dracula. ish.
Oh, it's interesting. I didn't know this. Apparently, Man Who Laughs is compared often to the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm. Similar kind of, freak of nature, isolated and mocked and derided, falling in love with a beautiful, seductive woman, yada yada yada. The book, by the way, for those that don't know, the book is much darker when it comes to Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, that I was aware of. I haven't read it myself, but I've heard of it. I mean, I heard people discussing about it. Be fair, I just kind of like the movie more so, just for, well, it's good.
There's a lot of good stuff about Hunchback, but I don't feel like a lot of other Disney movies. I feel like an occasional desire to revisit. I don't think I've ever felt the organic desire to revisit Hunchback.
Well, I do. To be fair, it's like one of the first Renaissance Disney films I ever saw as a kid. So, kind of has a special connection in my heart.
It's hard to remember which I saw first of the Disney Renaissance ones. But probably Little Mermaid, because I watched that a lot as a kid.
Really? I would have assumed Atlantis.
No, by the time Atlantis was coming out, I was already like on my way out of childhood, my dude. Like Atlantis, the Lost Empire, and Treasure Planet were at the very, very tail end of the Disney Renaissance. Tarzan, I think, is the only one of the Disney Renaissance movies I watched in the theater when it came out.
You're lucky. I will say, there was a direct-to-video sequel that I had watched of Notre Dame that I think the story was genuinely good because in the first one, people know of is, Esmeralda and I can't remember the guard's name.
Phoebus.
Thank you. They fall in love and, Quasimodo...
Quasi gets nada, basically.
Well, I mean, he gets loved and adored by the people, which is enough at the time. But in the direct-to-video sequel I'm talking about, there's actually a woman who does fall in love with him. And I think it's a good story. I just think the animation, it's not...
Madeline, yeah. I actually watched Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 before I saw the first one, actually.
The story's actually pretty good. I just think the animation-wise, it's not as good as the first one because it's direct-to-video and it looks more like that.
It's very much doing TV animation.
Yeah,
it's pretty good TV animation, but it's very much TV quality animation.
And I think maybe we could have had maybe a little maybe extra 20 minutes to help flesh it out more.
Yeah, I also, and I know this is just me being me, but I wish they had given Sarouche actual magic to work with instead of making him a stage conjurer. Like, he can pretend to be a stage conjurer, but I would have liked to have seen him actually have actual magic. Then again, I'm not so sure how the fuck he managed to make La Fidel vanish in that way. Because normally when you do that kind of vanishing act on a stage, it's because there's a trapdoor or something. But he was in the fucking bell tower and it still vanished. So I'm not sure how it literally cuts away and we just see it on the boat with them, and it's it was made very clear that Sarouche was a charlatan, and yet somehow actually managed to do that. The fuck. But yeah, I liked the direct-to-video sequel as well. And again, I watched that before I watched the first one, which might color my opinion of it slightly. I really like the concept of La Fidel, although to be fair, with all those gems and shit inside it, La Fidel would not ring. And it would it would destroy itself after about 10 rings. So, for practical purposes, Lafadel could not happen. Obviously, they had to have the gems on the inside because, it's what's inside that counts theme and so on. But from a practical, design standpoint, the gems should be on the outside so that it doesn't get constantly banged about by the actual resonance of the bell itself. Also wouldn't ring with all that shit inside it, but that's neither here nor there.
You know a lot about bells.
I do. I collect them.
Yeah, somehow that doesn't surprise me.
I have entire shelves just full of bells, my dude.
Again, that doesn't surprise me, actually. I have a best friend who is weird. Of course, he collects a lot of weird stuff.
Also, because I'm sure the Freudians in the audience are thinking this. Yes, phallic symbol, phallic symbol, phallic symbol.
What?
Think about what a bell looks like, and think about what other body parts may resemble parts of the bell.
Bell looks like a cup. What?
The actual striker part of the bell hangs down in such a way as to resemble a certain part of the male anatomy, and the handle of said bell resembles another part of the male anatomy immediately above those aforementioned dangly bits.
I feel like that's a stretch, and yeah, no, that's a very weird. That's a stretch for psychology there.
I don't think it's as much of a stretch as you want it to be, my dude. But anyway, we need to get through Clayface so we can do the other ones. So banana or Batnana rather.
Well, one, it's only 10, and we'd only have 2 after this, and so.
Yes, but given our pace, though, one of the last ones is Coyote versus Acme, and I know I have a lot to say about that one. So, Batnana.
Yep.
I just realized, getting back to our horror gothic genre parallels for Batman villains, Clayface definitely kind of fits the Elephant Man mold.
So I was like trying to connect. Yeah. Although you could make an argument for Killer Croc with the Elephant Man as well, somewhat.
There's a particular skin condition that.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the basis for Killer Croc originally. Actually, he does have this condition. Then, the one I remember most is Hugo Strange experiments on him, turning him into a more crocodile hybrid.
Basically takes it to its logical conclusion.
Yeah,
because mad science is gonna mad science.
Which I know sometimes they turn Killer Croc into like a cannibal monster, but the one guy who has that really rough skin condition and is really just trying to fucking make a living. Those are the versions I like the most.
It's kind of like how I like the Clock King better when they don't give him time control powers. Because I really again, I first got introduced to the Clock King in Batman the Animated Series, and I just really like the idea that someone can be that obsessively efficient with regards to time and systems, and that in and of itself qualifies as a superpower by itself. Kind of like the supervillain equivalent of Phileas Fogg from Around the World in 80 Days. I don't like versions of the Clock King that have time manipulation powers. I like the Clock King just being that good at time. Basically. Anyhow. Batman.
Yeah, sorry. Let me get the tab real quick. But the fact that they had, I also want to talk about the cinematography and everything too. And the fact that they held on to the shot of his face while doing like the intercutting of those images, I feel like is very telling of the. It's very artistic, very.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels very in line with like kind of modern horror movies, like the good ones, mind you. I want that to be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
And like just the look the guy has, you could tell it's utter rage and just the deep despair of what the fuck happened to him.
Yeah, and yes, I realize this is, me being me again. But I really wish they had taken Doctor Strange's injuries this far in the 2016 one, because
that would put to a higher rate, wouldn't it?
Not necessarily, depending on how you do it. Like they managed to do something like it in animation in the 2007 one. But yeah, I wish they had focused a little bit more on the actual pain and the anguish of the injuries in Doctor Strange 1. In addition to making him more of an asshole to begin with, so he has a more noticeable character arc. But I'm a broken record on this.
Something I'm actually kind of impressed with the makeup too.
Mm-hmm.
There's like his eyes are bloodshot. I don't know if that's makeup or if that's CGI'd.
It looks like it's been done practically from here, but I could be wrong. It doesn't. The thing is, I think this should be fairly easy to do. Easy if you're a makeup artist, I should say. Practically.
But I'm just saying, like that's impressive. That amount of detail.
Yeah, no, it does look like it's been done practically, and if so, kudos to the person who did it practically.
Yeah. But yeah. I do feel like this should have come out like sooner. Well, like I feel like the movies should be kind of not as spaced out as they kind of are. Because it just feels like a very slow crawl that the DCU is doing,
Yeah, and I'm especially worried for this one because given both how well the Batman went over and how well the Penguin went over with the audience, the fact that those aren't connected to this is going to confuse a lot of people, I think. And if this movie is going to be released theatrically, which I don't know if it's theatrically if it's going to be released on HBO Max, but
no, it's going movies, I think.
Okay. But either way, if this is going to be released theatrically, then it's gonna have a hard time, I think, recouping its money. Had it come out between Joker 1 and Joker 2, I think could have done better because it could have ridden the momentum of the first Joker movie a little bit. But after Fale Adu, and the superhero genre itself isn't
in as healthy a place as I would like it to be. And that's not saying anything bad about this movie. This movie actually looks really good. I'm not disparaging this movie at all. I'm just saying it's gonna have several uphill battles to climb, even more so than DC usually does, because DC can't not shoot themselves in the dick every fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Batman.
Yeah, this genuinely does feel like a. That's just like a horror. Like without the DC banner, it just feels like a genuine horror movie.
I really like some of the aesthetics that are going on here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's aesthetically close enough to something
Batman.
like the Batman that it could easily be in the same universe.
Yeah, I'm actually, to be fair, I'm not even sure if it's part of the DC. I thought it was part of the DCU, but it could. I don't know.
These are important questions you must ask yourself before you fuck up your own project, James. It would make substantially more sense if it were in the Batman universe, just on the basis that they've already done the Penguin. So it would be more of a continuation of that strategy. But gods only know at this point, considering that DC has been on borrowed time since 2013, and they've never fully gotten themselves off the ground since.
I do feel like they're kind of mixing, Feet of Clay, possibly with the original Clayface from the 40s, which was basically like a serial killer.
Mm-hmm. A little bit like how in The Invisible Man slowly gets driven insane, and it's kind of an open question whether it was the chemicals affecting his brain, the chemicals that turned him invisible affecting his brain, or if it's like a ring of Gyges, people without accountability go insane with power kind of thing.
I'd argue the latter for the Invisible Man, but
I think it'd be more interesting if it were the former, just because,
well, could it be? Sorry.
Power corrupting in that way, is kind of basic. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I understand the principle that invisibility kind of loosens accountability, but it's not the most offensive of superpowers, guys. He can still only do what your average man can do whilst being invisible. As far as powers, it's easy to go mad with power related to. I feel like invisibility is not as broken as it would need to be in order to justify going that insane.
Yeah, I can again back to the Clayface thing. Well, could it also be a mixture of both, like the chemicals of driving him mad, but also the power that he gains from it, like his abilities, right? Also driving him.
Right. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it being a little bit of either or. I don't know. For me, the idea of the chemicals that turned him invisible had a side effect, and that side effect made him go a little nuts, is somewhat more interesting than him just secretly wanting to be a megalomaniac. Anyway, but that's just me. But yeah, unless you had more.
No. Although I'm curious what his name is, because there are a few different Clayface. I know the primary one is Basil Carlo.
I don't remember.
But then there's the one from animated, which was Hagen. So I'm wondering if which name they're going to use for the main character.
I would imagine Hagen, just because it's the more recent name that he's gone with.
But I don't know, Basil Carlo does have a nice ring to it, and if they're going for a more, with like how the DCU is supposed to be set up and how James likes to do that, it kind of makes sense they would use Basil Carlo. But I mean, granted, he's not the one working on this specifically, but
Yeah, but again, roll a d20, and the number will have just as much bearing on what DC is doing than anything they're actually consciously doing at any given moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right, but
bet now.
that's actually pretty good effects. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
Him warping the face to be basically this blank slate.
Yeah. And it looks like it's been done practically too, which is nice.
I'd say a
Like,
mix of both, to be honest.
Yeah, you could probably get an effect similar to that though by layering multiple like makeup constructs on top of each other.
Yeah, but I would say a good mix. I feel like they would just have like one face thing, and then they would like CGI wipe it with the hand.
I think we can agree. I think we can agree that this needs a making of like short or whatever the fuck.
Oh, dude, I love those. And yeah, it totally does.
For precisely these sorts of reasons.
Yeah, but I definitely think it's like a mix of both CGI and practical.
If it's using CGI, it's not using CGI much. A lot of this seems to be leaning more heavily on the practical side, which is a good thing.
I mean, with Clayface, you do kind of have to tend to lean a little bit to the CGI in some form or fashion.
Yeah, just because of what he is and what he can do and stuff. But it seems like they're trying to stick to practical as much as they can possibly stick to practical, which is not a bad idea.
Well, to be fair, I also want to say, like, this is Clayface as he's just starting out, so he's not doing like the big elaborate stuff that he's usually doing.
Right.
I'm curious if we're going to see him turn to the giant monster by the end, and he becomes that for, like, he can't keep his form anymore.
Or if there's some like middle stage he'll be stuck in. I think part of the reason they're doing it this way is because making it look as practically done as possible makes it more tangible and thus makes the body horror a lot more effective.
I realized, a lot of body horror for a lot of Batman villains too. I'm just, huh?
It's almost as though Bruce's rogues reflect bits and pieces of his own trauma or something.
Well, that's just common knowledge.
Yeah, I know, but that's why it was kind of lampshading it a little bit.
Well, what I mean though is like, I just never noticed how many of their like origins or transformations involve like legit body horror.
Yep.
Really.
I mean, Victor Freeze is trapped in sub-zero temperatures, or he will literally melt from the inside out. Harvey Dent is obvious, what with the face thing. Joker, that of acid and chemicals and blah 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 blah.
Poison Ivy is a bit tricky, actually, because depending on her origin.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much of her is still human adjacent and how much of her has become kind of consumed by her plants.
Yeah, it really depends. And again, like depending on how you play with that, because again, she just looks like a regular person with some minor plant-like alterations.
Yeah, but we also know she can create plausible plant constructs that look like normal people on the outside while not being people. And if she turns out to
Yeah.
be one of her own, if she turns out to be kind of patient zero for that, that'd be interesting. Bane, obviously, the like distended nature of his musculature and stuff is very, body horror, and it's meant for what. Hey, yeah, Man Bat might have it the worst, just because like the guy doesn't even want to hurt anybody. It just wants to be cured of his fucking mad scientist disorder.
He was seeking a cure for deafness, and
but the echolocation of bats could resolve it, and much like Kurt Connors over in Marvel, thinking that lizards' ability to regenerate themselves was worth injecting himself into an experimental lizard formula, and boom, very similar origins, actually.
he was Werebat's son. I looked that up. That genuinely surprised me.
I'm trying to think of other Batman villains that have like a body horror aspect to them.
I was gonna say Scarecrow, but that's more psychological horror than anything.
Yeah, it's more psychological. Same thing with Ventriloquist. It's more psychological. Black Mask doesn't really have either kind of trauma, as far as we know, anyway.
Well, again, it really depends on the iteration we're talking about, but
Phantasm definitely has a little bit of both.
There's okay. Sorry, let's take it. There was a villain that he hasn't really touched on. He's called Great White Shark. Yeah. So his origin, he's a relatively new one. I think he was introduced in like 2000s. So got caught for like some type of embezzling thing, but he thought he could trick the system to get off light, and thus took an insanity plea in Gotham and got sent to Arkham Asylum.
Oh boy. You don't want to be making that play in Gotham unless you really beat it.
Yeah. So got tortured in Arkham. Got locked in, I believe, in a deep freezer. And basically frostbite happened, and he lost his hair fell out, and he lost his nose, and basically went insane because he was tortured by the Joker. And
if I had a nickel for every time a Batman villain's origin story had to do with deep freezing, I would have 2 nickels, which is a lot, but it's weird that it happened, etc., etc. Doofenshmirtz memes.
Yeah. Yeah, but filed his teeth down to sharp points. Yeah, just became a supervillain after that. Although I might, if anyone knows that character better than I do, just let me know if I got anything wrong.
Another like body horror adjacent one, the doll one.
Dollmaker.
Yeah, the woman that's stuck, essentially looking like a baby doll.
Oh, baby doll. Sorry, I thought you meant talking about the Dollmaker, which was like a serial killer. Oh, Professor Pig.
Yeah, him too. Yeah, but there's a lot of psychological and a lot of body horror in the Batman Rogues Gallery. It's one of the reasons I think Batman's Rogues Gallery is actually better than Spider-Man's.
It's mostly just petty crooks and
Well, there's definitely some sympathy and some like explanation for their various forms of megalomania in Spider-Man comics. It's never like a fundamental focus of the character.
um. All right, shall we get through this? We got like 10 seconds or so left.
Bet now.
October 23rd. Okay, so they're releasing a horror movie in October.
Finally, Hollywood learns. Put your horror-related things near Halloween, goddammit. This shouldn't be that hard. Same thing goes with your dark and or spooky fantasy stuff. Put it not near Halloween. This may be the first actually smart thing DC has done in 13 freaking years. Jesus Christ. Oh, DC. Hopefully someday you will stop treading water. I'm not holding my breath, but hopefully someday DC will learn their fucking lessons. Maybe in time for Superman's 100th anniversary.
Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this one a lot. Coyote versus Acme official trailer.
I think this will be the first Looney Tunes related movie since Looney Tunes Back in Action in like 2003. And yes, also, by the way, fuck you, Warner Brothers, for almost canning it. May the Warner Brothers executive be thrown off a cliff.
All right. Is there any Looney Tunes related food? Or
Can't think of any. Ask me, Nana.
okay. This song looks really good.
Yeah, I like the kind of blending of, classic Looney Tunes style with, like, live action backgrounds. I mean, obviously, Toon, real life interweaving is at least as old as, like, Bedknobs and Broomsticks and Roger Rabbit and Mary Poppins and all that. But, like, it's well done here. Akmina.
Have you been horribly injured by a product made by the Acme Corporation?
It's not your fault. There's probably someone to blame.
Name of the case is Coyote versus Acme.
Wile E. Coyote.
Isn't he also, like, your guys' most loyal customer?
you'd think you'd pay for his medical bills just on the basis of how much money he spends through your company.
We both know corporations don't give a shit.
I know, but Acme is supposed to be one of those old-timey mail order corporations that actually did vaguely give a shit about their customers.
But to be fair,
Like,
this is like the more modern Acme. I believe.
yeah, I
he's
know.
just-
Obviously, that's the joke. I'm just like you get a lot of really good PR. Oh, boys at Acme, if you offered to make Wiley a sponsor for your products. He is one of the most prolific users of them. Maybe that'll be how the movie ends. Maybe he'll become an Acme spokesperson or spokes creature.
Well, I think person is apt, given that he's a sentient creature. It's walks on. It's bipedal and stuff.
Fair.
But to be fair,
Anyway,
I mean, he
Acme,
doesn't.
go
I mean,
ahead.
technically, it would also be a sign person or like speech sign person.
Mm.
Be the more apt term, actually.
Mm.
Anyway, Acme.
Wiley Coyote. He is reckless. We all know who's responsible, and all of his injuries are self-inflicted.
You've been settling Acme cases for years.
I'll probably get you $250 for that.
This is your opportunity to really show people what you're capable.
John Cena as the Acme executive.
Why is that so hilarious to me?
He's a really good actor, so I think he can really pull his character off. So,
Although that implies that a fucking corporate suit gets to the gym that often, which is a little weird.
I'd be surprised what people do that actually. Be fair, most movies taught me anything. Most corporates jackasses are former college dude bro jackasses. So
Yeah,
those guys
so
always hit the gym. So
from probable like full ride athletic scholarship to the corporate boardroom, that wouldn't surprise me in the least. I rescind my criticism. Acme Nana.
These companies think they can do whatever they want. We're sick of it.
Me, act you.
Nothing to see here.
We really have nothing.
We both know it would be very unpleasant if anything bigger were to become public.
Foghorn Leghorn as a higher executive in Acme. I don't know how I feel about that. It's just like from what I remember of Foghorn Leghorn's character in like original Looney Tunes stuff, he was very like earnest, strong, kind of down to earth fella.
Mm-hmm.
Was he not? Like,
yeah.
So, and being Italian, I don't know.
Apparently, he sold out. Maybe he'll be one of the people in the Acme corporate structure that flips on the higher ups at the end for Toon Solidarity or whatever the hell. Not that I mind a movie that focuses so heavily on corporations, but there does seem to be and to be fair, not unpleasant amount of corporations are idiots / morons here. Which again, in this particular case, it doesn't feel vindictive. It feels like it actually organically follows from the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
Amazing how there are still people who can manage to do that in 2026. Then again, I guess this was made in like 2022.
Oh yeah.
Because they kept it on ice for like 3 years.
Yeah, I totally forgot of that. Okay.
Mm.
Alright. Acme now?
Acme now.
So, what is up, Doc?
In theaters, only in theaters, August 28th.
There's something just so timelessly iconic about the Looney Tunes. I can't see a genuine Looney Tunes thing and not smile about it. And like I said, this is the first Looney Tunes related movie project since Looney Tunes Back in Action.
And no animated films or anything? Hell, like only like
Oh wait, no, there was the one not was it last year? The like off-brand one about like alien invasions and crap.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't remember what it was called, but I might. It was the Looney Tunes thing. It was released last year. It featured something aliens, and I don't remember what the title was. So I stand corrected. But this is the first major motion picture, I think, in a while. And again, there's something just so timeless about Looney Tunes when they're done right. There are ways to do Looney Tunes wrong, cough cough Looney Tunes show, but when Looney Tunes are done right, there's just something so timelessly iconic about them that makes me happy.
What was wrong with the Looney Tunes show?
They turned Looney Tunes into a lazy suburban sitcom.
Maybe it's because I remember watching that growing up, and maybe I'm.
And they changed Lola from a actually badass, seductive, tough chick to crazy stalker girlfriend like Panini from
I
Chowder.
will. Okay, I'll admit that was a bad choice.
And they changed Daffy's character so he's just bad at everything now instead of like his main. Like the main source of his self-destruction being his like megalomania and his I don't want to be second fiddle to the bugs thing.
That's fair. Okay, never mind. I will shut the fuck up.
Yeah. There were a lot of choices like that where it's just like I'm not sure what you're doing, show, but please stop using the Looney Tunes characters to do it. Please.
Alright. Okay. Last trailer, Spider Noir. Authentic black and white. There are other trailers. Let's move on.
Yep. Spider now.
Sounds like a grandma who got bit by a spider.
We could do gum as in gumshoe because noir, maybe.
No, I was just pointing out that could be a character in the Spider-Verse.
It could be the universe where May was the universe where Aunt May was bitten by the spider instead, or something.
I mean, you got plenty where Ben was bitten, so
yeah.
Well, one, but
anyway. But gum then. Or gumshoe.
Mystery forms a complex web. But pull the right strand, and it's a straight line to the answer.
Universe trends to disorder.
You can tell Nicolas Cage is having the time of his life right now.
Brian Gleason is playing Silvermane.
Mm.
Mad Eye Mooney
Mm-hmm.
or Moody.
Yeah.
And other stuff, but I feel like that's the most prominent one you would know.
Mm. But yeah, it's
Well, no,
yeah.
Star-studded cast. Also, I mean, I've seen both. You know, the colored one and the black and white one. I think both look really good.
Yeah, the color on the color on the actual colorized version is actually very nice and pops really well. It's
very
almost like it's almost like you can actually learn to use color, you daft cunts in Hollywood.
Yeah, that was. I don't get why that was kind of a point of contention for some people who watch the trailers. That saying it should only be black and white instead of color.
Do these people not know that there are so many like hyper-saturated noir things?
No,
like
I doubt it.
That's like the two modes noir stuff exists in. It's either black and white or it's hyper-saturated, hyper-stylized color.
I mean, to be fair, neo noir really adapted the very hyper saturated look to a greater extent, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, you douse it with neon, but still, like, I feel like it's the same principle.
It's very, yeah. And half the reason they did that hyper stylized color in the black and white versions is because just like the Addams Family mansion needed to be pink so that it showed up right on the black and white cameras. So too, if you're shooting something in black and white, you need a certain contrast level in order to make it still work.
Right. But I also like how it's very much like the standard 20s, 30s, 40s kind of era.
Right.
But it's hyper it's elevated, right? Like it's a
retrofuturist.
No. It's got superpowered people in it. It's like hyper high. No,
high concept.
Thank you. My brain's starting to shut down. So
yeah, mine too. It's been a very, very long day, and that day was at the end of a very, very long week, where everything. I swear to God, something went wrong every fucking minutes all week.
My day was pretty. My week was pretty uneventful.
My week was annoying. My week was very annoying.
It's weird how that works for us. I don't get it.
Every 5 fucking minutes, it was something that needed this, something that needed that, some call that needed to be made here, something that needed to be made over the fucking.
Breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. But
Spider Nana. Or yeah.
Monsters on the loose.
All you can do is fight to keep the chaos from your door.
I came here to offer him a job. My friend disappeared.
You haven't given us much to go.
What can I say? The world's a dangerous place.
Yeah, this is for like a standard. It's like it's fun actually because it really invokes like the classic noir, like even like the dialogue and stuff.
As somebody who loves noir, yeah, this is.
I honestly kind of.
You could basically go through a noir checklist, and the seductive love interest / femme fatale character. Check.
Cat Hardy. That's her name.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't use the actual names.
Obviously.
It's a weird thing. I don't get that really.
Well,
Because this is an
unfortunately,
alternate. Well, it's an alternate version, like and stuff. So
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I guess to make it easier to tell them apart, and if they have
But-
to interact with each other instead of doing the Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3 thing.
well, okay, but the thing is, like, this is Nick Cage voiced Spider Noir and to the Spider Verse, and this is kind of supposed to be the spinoff kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they named him Ben Riley.
Did we ever actually get his name in the Spider-Verse movies?
Peter Benjamin Parker.
Okay, so this is an alternate universe on top of an alternate universe.
See my point?
Interesting. Okay. But in any case, Gumshoe?
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry. It's just the way they talk and stuff. And like I've made mention how I kind of wish we would have gone back to like the Art Deco like suits and stuff, like the clothing era and all that from like the 30s and stuff.
You are preaching to the choir, my friend. You are preaching to the fucking conductor of the choir at this point.
But I don't know. I feel like the dialogue and language was a little better back then.
This is why I love this is one of the reasons I love urban fantasy, because for whatever reason urban fantasy and noir have a long-standing fucking marathon love affair with each other. There are so many great examples of urban fantasy noir or neo-noir.
Yeah, you can see that. All right.
Gumshoe.
Yeah.
But I think you're braver than you let on.
Got me growing 6 black
And again, you can tell that Nicolas Cage is having the time of his life just camping it up here.
Yeah, it works. Also, I seen someone made mention of this, and I kind of noticed it a little more when it was the color trailer. Spider Noir's, well, for one thing, he has it makes more sense that he has the organic webbing here.
Yeah.
He has black webbing.
Is it black
Oh, no,
in the colorized version too?
Yeah, I took a look, and yeah, it's black webbing.
Neat.
Just kind of curious why it is,
I'd be interested to see if the symbiote was involved already at this point in his timeline.
No, it doesn't look like. Apparently, well, we'll get into it because they show it briefly. The spider bite. It's pretty unique, actually. Anyway. Also, the music's actually pretty good. I know it's not like a jazz thing or anything, but I feel like it fits here still.
I hope the actual score will be.
Oh yeah, no, I don't doubt they're not going to do that. Like they even show a scene of Cat Hardy character is a singer in a club. So
Yeah, as a lounge singer in a like big band style club. Which again, I'm a sucker for noir aesthetics, especially when there's a superhuman or supernatural element, and check.
Yeah, it just works for some reason. It blends so well together.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you want a never-ending series of books to get into, just operate within the strictures of urban fantasy plus noir. It is a marvelous, never-ending trove of awesome series.
Gumshoe.
I've been in a hole ever since Ruby died.
We're chasing ghosts.
Maybe we can be alone together.
This is your chance to put that shovel down.
So what are you waiting for?
Yeah, I'm just in awe, really.
Yep. Gumshoe. This looks
Feels
good.
like it feels like a real fun ride.
And again, I will be very surprised if Nicolas Cage isn't the standout here. Which isn't to say that everybody else isn't also trying. It's just I genuinely think this is one of the performances that's been on Nicolas Cage's bucket list, I'm sure. Noir Detective.
Well, Superman was also, let's not get to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still of the impression he could have done pretty good on that.
I am still of the impression we dodged a bullet there. Because while I love Nicolas Cage, he's not good at everything. Not even the things he really wants to do. I really do wish we had gotten more of his Dracula in Renfield, though.
Anyway, Spider-Nana?
Gumshoe.
Right.
Where the best man live.
This is how it ends.
The people could use a hero. Fighting.
Swinging looks good.
Mm.
So apparently he gets bit by a spider person at a freak show. Seems how he gets his powers.
Interesting. Very much noir.
Gumshoe?
Gumshoe.
Is the point. He's the best show in town.
What happened to your face?
I walked into a door.
How many times?
Yeah, that feels very noir detective, actually.
Mm.
And it's just like quip.
Yeah, I'm wondering when the stereotypical mobsters are going to get involved. Where's the Marcone stand-in or Nicky Daniele for Daniel Faust?
That's Silvermane. That's literally his whole thing. Is like he's one of like the original like crime bosses of New York. The Magia, which was Marvel's Mafia.
Right. Okay. So yes, we have our seductive love interest / femme fatale. We have our hard-boiled noir detective. We have our mobster. Check, and check. This is one of those things I love about noir, because it's when you get familiar with noir, it becomes kind of a game of, when is this particular plot thread gonna show up?
Sorry. Okay. Gumshoe.
Gumshoe.
Well, that's new. It sounds crazy, I know.
When is it coming out?
Shit. Hold on. Hold on, let me get my phone because I don't think it said it. Oh wait. Oh, May 27th. Okay.
So once again, later this month.
Yep. To be fair, this trailer came out like a week ago, so.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
well, I guess with that.
I will be interested to watch. I'd be very surprised if this doesn't turn out to be one of the best movies of the year. To be honest with you.
It's on Amazon.
Granted, there's not much competition there right at the moment because the best movie of this year so far has been Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, I honestly think that's kind of going to be a little hard to top. In all honesty.
It is, but I could see Spider Noir being a decent number 2, if nothing.
Oh
else.
yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I thought there was something else. It'll come to me some other time. So with that, folks, I want to say goodbye, adios, aloha, avidazai, sayonara, peace, cheers, and
Shalom and fuck off so I can go to sleep.
bye, guys.